yeah, that's the way it goes.
And so we're live, and just to prove that we're live, we're having all sorts of problems today, and I thank Noel for his for your that is everything going live now anyway. So I thank Noel for his patience and for his professionalism to keep the show going while all else was burning round about him.
Yeah, the house is actually on fire over here too, a little bit.
It's like the Titanic going down with the musicians on the bow. Thank you. I lost internet, so I'm just doing it on the phone now. So the next thing that could go horribly wrong is the phone runs out of power. So I've got Noel McKay with me. Noel, we were just talking briefly about your connection with the Highlands of Scotland. And for those that were listening online, excuse me, I'm going to wander around a little bit because I actually do need to find the charger because I wasn't expecting to use the phone too much. So this is really interesting television, of course. Tell us about your connection with the Highlands of Scotland, apart from being a Mackay, which you are. You come quite often, don't you?
Yeah, once a year, once a year. We weren't able to come last year. Hey, Steve, glad to see you're still with us. We weren't able to come back in November because, and I traveled with Brendan Lee when I tour the UK.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to come this past year because of COVID, obviously, restrictions and a worldwide pandemic and all of that stuff. And everyone needed to get that under control. And it seems like we're moving seriously in the right direction.
Yeah.
It seems like both the United Kingdom and the United States are doing that, which is great. And we just have to think about staying ahead of some of the other stuff that's catching up in the rest of the world. And anyway, that's a whole different topic about which I'm not qualified to.
I know, but maybe you are qualified to notice which venues are opening up in Nashville. If they are they opening up?
Yeah, lots of venues are opening up. Let's see that. Well, the local is open, and the American Legion started booking music about a month ago.
Excellent. Tuesday night at the American Legion. Yes.
Tomorrow night. That's right.
I bet you would. I would.
And in Bluegrass Wednesday there, I've got one of those coming up in June 9th. I'm going to be doing that with my favorite bluegrass musicians in town, playing my songs with me.
Nice.
And yeah, it ought to be great. It's what I do isn't really bluegrass, but I know some people that play bluegrass, so that's all it takes, I guess.
It's you can hear the roots of the music in your music. I would say you're more old-timey than bluegrass.
I would say that's probably true. But yeah, my connection to the Highlands is, well, I have family. My family is Scottish on both sides. My mom's maiden name is McKinley.
McKinley.
Yep. Yeah. So, and I found when I was up in Stroudnaver, it's all Mackay up there.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's called Mackay or Gunn, or there was a third last name that I forget.
There's Sutherlands as well, but that's a bit further south, of course.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, I just walked, I couldn't help myself. I went and walked around in the Scottish Cemetery, which was very near the town hall where we played. And yeah, everybody's called Mackay or Gunn. And but I found someone whose headstone, one parent was Mackay and the other parent was McKinley. And I thought, well, I mean, that's not that much of a coincidence given where it was, but so my family goes back to the Highlands on both sides. And I mean, there's some Native American after they got here, there's I'm not sure which tribe. I think that my dad's grandfather, his name was William Monroe McKay. Monroe, that's the other name.
Monroe, well, man of Ross, and that's Caithness, Sutherland, and then Russia. So that's all in the Northlands.
Right. Yeah. My great grandfather's name was William Monroe McKay.
Yeah.
And he married a woman who was Native American.
Yeah.
And so that's where that comes from, and
Monroe and bluegrass. It's all coming back in a circle again as well. Eh?
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's all connecting on June 9th when I go play.
So, gonna think of another song to play, and we're here in the Medicine Show Radio Miss Mobile, with me, Rob Ellen, and I'm just now working out how to use the phone, which I didn't realize I could do that, but I can. So I'm broadcasting from my phone because we've had a few technical issues. Thanks for covering for that as well, Noel. If you caught that an earlier broadcast, Noel played 3 on the road on the trot already. Would you outro those ones that you did play?
What they were?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I played a song called "You Ought to Write a Song About That," which is really just about. My dad was a neuropsychologist. He was a psychologist, nice. and so I've always. He went back to school when I was a kid and just was gone a lot. But then after graduated, I saw him. But he instilled that interest in psychology in me, and so that song is really about the psychology of what makes people come up to me or any other songwriter and tell them their song ideas in hopes that they will use it. And I just think, and I like when people do that. I'm very flattered that someone would entrust me with a song idea. And I've always, and you know, so it's to me, I find it very endearing when he does that, and I don't want to discourage people from doing that by writing a song about that. That's a little cheeky, but that's really about the. You know, I just wonder, like, what is it? And it's not. It's a really small percentage of the people that do that, which in itself is a small percentage of audience members. But the percentage of people, there's a small one that's they want you to use their idea so that they can say you did. Mm-hmm. And that's really kind of what that song is about. And then I wrote a song called "I Build Houses." For about 5 years, I was a framing carpenter in South Texas. And I enjoyed it a lot, but the climate is very harsh in Texas.
Yeah.
And so I found that to be a difficult experience on a day-to-day basis. Just getting up really early and working. You know, we would have to get up in the summertime and start very early in the morning. I'm a musician by nature, and my nap clock is 2 a.m. I sleep 2 a.m. to 10 a.m.
You know? Yeah.
So getting up at 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go work in the heat all day.
Yeah.
As much as I loved putting houses together, and the creative process that went into starting on a blank slab, and then when you leave at the end of the month, for however long it takes, depending on the size of the house, you've got a house, a structure that's there that you can be proud of, that you worked on.
Yeah.
For a part of it. And I love that part of it. And I miss that in a way, but not enough to go back to. So that's what that song's about. And they're tearing down a house across the street to build something that won't be as fantastic or attractive, and that's all subjective stuff. But there's a lot of that in Nashville, where they're tearing down the old stuff and putting new stuff that's aesthetically not as pleasing to me.
Yeah.
And, the song I played after that was called "The Bar in the Strip Mall," and it's just sort of about being existentially stuck. For a lot of years, I worked tending bar at Threadgill's, which just closed during COVID.
I know. I couldn't. It's like closing the Taj Mahal. What's Austin thinking?
I know. Maybe somebody will buy that. The last I heard, they had not yet bulldozed the building.
Well, that is encouraging.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe somebody will come along and decide that they want to reopen it.
Yeah, or maybe the City Hall will get a conscience and realize how important live music is to the live music capital of the world.
You would think that they would take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that was my first job when I first moved to Austin, from Bandera, where I went to high school. After I graduated high school, I went to you know, I went to Austin as soon as I could get myself there to play music because people wanted to hear your original songs.
That's right.
So I got myself to Austin as quickly as I could, and that was my first job, tending bar at Threadgills. Every day I'd get in there and
you'd be at the hub.
Up.
You'd have been at the hub of what was going on.
What's that?
You would have been at the hub of what's going on.
I was. They had this thing called the Musicians Appreciation Supper every year.
Yeah.
And it was just bedlam. They would it was free food, free beer for the local musicians in Austin. And I guess they probably hired a taxi service to take people home too, because people are really like, they got Norway drunk. So
yeah, so yeah, that was that felt like it was Austin to me while that whole place was going on. So we could talk about this forever. I want you to think of a tune to play us out on. You're coming to these Isles in September. I saw dates advertised. You've got dates advertised in Texas at the moment as well. So that in itself is encouraging. So I would imagine that have you an agent that's hunting these out? How do people get in touch with you if they want to get a house concert together for you? I think house concerts are going to be the way ahead.
It's possible. You know, Graham Anderson and Bob Patterson. Those guys do the booking.
Oh, there's a rum crew if ever there was one too.
Yeah, yeah. And then when we play Ireland, it's Uri Cohen.
Yeah. Okay. So I will get in touch with Graham because I'm overdue as well, and I did see that Bob was advertising the dates. So if there's anything we can do in the Highlands, I can't control the weather, but I can help with booking dates and stuff. And I would love to come to Strathneva with you. We've got a Stravega around.
That'd be great. I'm really looking forward to that. And you know, I wanted to say, you know, my brother and I played for years and years together.
Yeah.
And we've got a song that we're trying to write together in the works right this moment. And when I go to Texas in July, he and I are going to be doing some shows, some McKay Brothers reunion shows. And I would love to bring him with me over to the Highlands time and do a tour, and just hire a car and teach him to drive on the left.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you won't need to hire a car if the moose is loose. I'm just saying that we'll run in convoy anyway.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well,
I'd love to meet your brother, and there's nothing like siblings singing together. You two guys are just the most harmonious. So yeah, that would be wonderful.
We like playing together. We don't get to do it as often because he's in Bandera. Yeah. He's in Bandera, Texas, and I'm in Nashville. But I'm really looking forward to playing some songs with him. So I'm going to close out with I put my glasses on, my reading glasses here, because I have reworked the song. And this is just like an exclusive thing, and
we do like an exclusive.
Yeah, I wanted, and then I'm gonna really kind of technically, theoretically debut this version of this song when we come to the UK.
Excellent. Excellent. How's Brendan before you start?
And also, I'd like to thank you in front of everybody for helping me through some of these pronunciations.
I'm getting the blame. That's a disclaimer.
So if I mess them up, it's all because of you, Rob.
That's a disclaimer.
Not so. But yeah, thanks for helping me through it.
Not at all. Thanks for doing this for us. Sorry about the technical problems.
That's live. That's a live show for you.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have the song "The 50 Loneliest Places in the Nation," and I debuted that song when we were on the last tour, which was a year and a half ago. That would have been November, December, or October, November of 2019. And that's when this came out. So I reworked it. You know, that song is very American. All the cities are all in the States. And I was always amazed at how well it went over Uh, so I decided to rework it United Kingdom style. So got places in England and Scotland and
Nice.
Ireland as well. Islands as well. So all the 50 loneliest places in the nation are some places that I've been to. They only earned that status because I got my saddest when I went to them. Spent some time without you. The exotic places, well, I've known some. These are some that I made lonesome. When you broke my heart and I went on holiday. They're the 50 loneliest places in the UK. The Isle of Lewis makes me bluest. The Isle of Skye just makes me cry. The Isle of Man, I just can't stand to go. Coventry, oh, woe is me. Holyhead, your love is dead. When I'm in school, my heart's like a stone. In Aberdeen, the days are mean. In Notting Hill, I miss you still. In Nottingham, my mind's filled with regret. Edinburgh, Edingale, Shandalow on the coast of Wales. I won't bore that again in Somerset. All the 50 loneliest places in the nation are some places that I've been to. They only earned that status because I got my status when I went to them and spent some time without you. Exotic places where I've known some. These are some that I made lonesome. When you broke my heart and I went on holiday. They're the 50 loneliest places in the UK. Glasgow, Gloucester, Goodrington, Glengully, Glencoe, Abingdon, and Thurso I can't think about tomorrow. Ullapool and Liverpool, Frankfurt on the Isle of Mull, and I can't seem to shake the blues in Scarborough. High Wycombe, I can get no rest. The Highland Games in Inverness, sunny days in Surrey at the races. Chester, Leicester, Cheltenham, Devon, London, Birmingham. I guess I'll have to go some other places. Frampton, Campton, Brampton, Wolvercote, and Wolverhampton. Horton, Norton, Morton, Wharton, Whitby. Way on down south end, New Bridge, New Biggin by the sea. I feel so forlorn that it's a pity. Bradford, Bristol, Brighton Beach, I've been there and cried in each still. I'm glad I beheld each lovely sight. And I suppose it would be rude if I neglected to include this city that I'm standing in tonight. All the 50 loneliest places in the nation are some places that I've been to. They only earned that status because I got my status when I went to them and spent some time without you. Exotic places, well, I've known some. These are some that I made lonesome. When you broke my heart and I went on holiday. They're the 50 loneliest places in the UK. They're the 50 loneliest places in the UK.
Excellent. No. Excellent. I wasn't
Thanks for your help.
counting, but it sounded like there might have been 50 there.
They're 50. They're 49. The city that I'm standing in tonight is 50.
Of course it is. Well, let's just, only for the sake of the song, let's just hope that Scotland doesn't get its independence before you get here.
I wouldn't mind. I'll just rewrite it.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to everybody else for their patience and forbearance and allowing us to get the technology as well as we could do. And thanks for staying with us. Thanks for the comments and shares. And I've just put up, I just found out how to put captions up on my phone as well. So the whole world's a learning curve. And I'm sorry to be using you as a as a platform for my my bumbling learning. But anyway, we got there in the end. And thank you so much, Noel. I look forward to seeing you when you get here.
Thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah. We're out here, guys. Thank you. Thanks again. And if I can work it out to turn the stream off. Thanks again, Noel. Love to Brennan.
I will do that. Take care.
And we'll maybe catch Brennan at some point if see what she's up to on the show. That would be nice. Take care, bud. Bye bye.
You too.